So we already know there are thousands of people making thousands of dollars on YouTube. The question is, could that be you? All right, second episode on YouTube. This is Joe Leach with Throw the Boss Out. Jim is not with us again for this episode. We miss him dearly because we know he would be asking some really great questions. So I will do my best to fill in for Joe and Jim as we do this. And now I'm joined by Rob Chapman as we were in the last episode.
Hi.
And I have promised to get down to the nitty gritty. Are you ready to get down to the nitty gritty?
You can get to my nitty or gritty as soon as you'd like.
So in the last episode, you told a tremendous story that would have everybody incredibly hopeful. They would think to themselves, wow, I can imagine that happening for me. I have something that I'd like to talk about. Maybe they're not guitar players, but maybe they have some subject that they feel they could bring to the rest of the world that would be interesting, that they could actually monetize through this medium called YouTube. And the question I have for you is it too late? Is it too competitive? Is there, do you feel that things have changed in the last 3 or 4 years in terms of that?
That's a great question. So things have definitely changed. It's populated by a lot more people, but that's much better. It's not worse.
Interesting.
Because when I was originally launching YouTube channels and, making the content, the audience to which I was preaching was much smaller. And now YouTube has become television. The average person goes home, puts on TV and puts on YouTube and shows their favorite videos, and then they watch Netflix, and then they go to bed after ordering some food. So YouTube has become normality. Back then, it was a tiny thing that was just growing and finding its legs. So in my opinion, it's a better shop window than it has ever been. And the ultimate truth is you only need a couple of 100,000 people to be interested in whatever you're doing to make a success of it. And on a planet with billions of people,
yes,
all watching YouTube all around the world, it's very difficult to not succeed, provided you are passionate in something. It doesn't matter how small that subject is, and in fact, sometimes the more niche, the better, because you will find your audience much quicker.
Yeah, that was the follow-up question to this, is that should somebody be looking at more of a niche, or should they be looking for a broad topic? Because it's just like any business. The competition, the barrier to entry, let's say the knowledge that you have, for example, somebody might know something about a very broad topic. They might be very knowledgeable about it, but there may be many other people that have the same thing. Yeah. Now, you still have your own personality, right? Yes. So somebody might watch you because they like the way you deliver the information, or they bond with you, or they want to be like you, right? However, if you can combine all those things with a niche where maybe there's less people total, but you take up a much bigger market share because there's not as much competition as far as that goes. But your answer was interesting before about it being better. I hadn't thought about it that way.
It's a bigger platform, so it's definitely better. There are more people for you to sell to or to promote to. I would say, I think the number one deciding factor in viewers when choosing a channel to subscribe to and become faithful to is personality. For example, you love Rhett and Link. Why?
Yes, I just find both of them to be engaging, all the way down to their facial expressions, their mannerisms, their tone of voice.
Yeah, they're cool.
And they have a relationship between each other that is fun to watch and to see the chemistry between the two.
So you end up feeling part of the relationship and part of the friendship, and that's what you're loving is the entertainment you're getting from being involved in that relationship that they have and the content they make. But there are thousands of YouTube duos that do videos like that. You've chosen them for the personalities.
Right. I would rather run into them and meet them than most other probably famous
Yeah.
actresses, just because
Exactly.
you feel like you could hang out with them.
Yes.
They don't seem unattainable, unachievable as far as a relationship goes.
And I want listeners, I was going to say viewers, maybe they are viewing in their mind's eye, but I want listeners to realize that that's probably the most important thing when considering setting up a channel, is that you want the viewers to feel a part of what you do and to feel emotionally involved in what you do. So you have to be real. You can't be fake. They see through the fake things.
So you have to have a personality.
Well, everyone has a personality.
You have to have a good personality.
No, you have to have a real personality. You don't want to be
What
fake.
if it's real boring?
Well, but it's not.
I wish Jim was here right now.
See, the thing
I could make
is,
so much fun of him.
it doesn't matter what your personality type is like. As long as you are real and authentic, you will attract people that like you. Whereas if you pretend to be something that you are not, people immediately know that, and then they don't want to watch it.
What about the channels that purposely go down the path of controversy, like literally trying to incite or to irritate people? I mean, let's face it, that there are people whose goal is to get viewers through basically being irritating. Now, I personally wouldn't have any fun doing that, but that's a reality, is it not?
I mean, there's a ceiling on the growth, because there comes a point when people will get bored of negativity and bored of things that are not positive. So, I mean, I think if somebody wanted to do that as a business model, if they were a critic of something and they were being real and being honest,
interesting,
and they just didn't like a particular thing,
and if their delivery was a little rough,
then that's fine.
Interesting.
If that's the bag
back
they're
to
into,
your point of being real.
Yeah, as long as it's real, it's fine. But if it was like, a hammed up personality, unless it's a skit or a character, it's different. But if it's just fake, then people don't like it.
So besides, you said you like Good Mythical Morning. What are some of your favorite YouTube channels?
It's varied. So, for example, I'm a big fan of Mangchi, Maangchi. She's a Korean chef. Okay. She's incredible. Makes the best Korean food on YouTube, in my opinion. I'm a foodie. I love all the food channels. Obviously, First We Feast, Hot One series. Big Sean fan. I will scour the internet for interesting food shows like That's Delicious. Fit in the other letters.
Right.
And they have a whole bunch of playlists, things like The Pizza Show. And I just love food reality documentary stuff where you get the characters, the personalities, and the food. And you really watch it for the people and the story, and then the food is added on, sort of thing, So I love that. I also watch a lot of guitar-related YouTube stuff, mostly for business and things, And then I watch some gaming playthroughs and, look up interesting things on martial arts and stuff, yeah.
And you know what's interesting is that you're contributing to those channels merely by watching.
Yeah.
So you don't give them any direct money whatsoever. No. And the only way that there's a relationship between you and the money that goes to the creator is if you happen to buy one of the things that is advertised on their channel.
Yeah, if I've watched subconsciously without realizing it 50 videos on a certain brand of shoes, and then one day I go and buy that brand of shoes without realizing, then subconsciously I've subliminally paid
2 cents of the shoes went to this channel.
Yeah,
2 cents of the shoes went to that channel, right? But the 2 cents adds up and turns into something.
Yeah.
So let's our listeners out there, let's say there's somebody that's sitting on the edge of their chair right now and saying, this sounds exciting. I have a great topic. I have a infectious personality. I want to share this realness with people. What would you recommend? How would you recommend they to
how do they do
move forward? Yes, exactly.
Okay, right. Let me give you the golden rules.
Do we need to write these down?
No, but do you have a drum roll?
We can
insert one right now. Okay, golden rules.
Perfect.
So the first one is it needs to be entertaining. Now, entertaining doesn't mean over the top, funny, laughing. It just needs to be engaging. So it can be really serious. That's entertaining to some people. As long as it is something that you feel a viewer would want to watch and that you could sustain making a lot of, then you're winning. Simple as that.
Did we just move to rule 2? I'm sorry.
No, that's
rule 1 is make it entertaining.
Yes.
Okay.
But within that make it entertaining is the preconceived notion of being aware that the content you are creating that is entertaining is something that a viewer would want to watch.
Okay. Engaging. Entertaining and engaging, or interesting.
Okay, here's what you want to avoid. You want to avoid using your brain too much and your brain telling you, I probably should make a video about the 15 different knobs on the front panel of this radio because I'm a radio collector, because they definitely want to know what every single knob does. And I probably should talk about the internal contraption, the wiring. And well, that might be interesting to some people, but it wouldn't be particularly entertaining. What would be more entertaining is if you talked about the history of the radio, where it came from, what the company that made the radio is like, who the people are that make them. Have you met them? Have you spoken to them? That's more interesting to viewers. And the way you get there is you watch YouTube and you take notes of things you found interesting. People don't do this consciously. So you watch YouTube with a pen and paper, and when something really gets your attention, write down what it was. And you look at the trends. It's people. It's faces. You'll click on a thumbnail that's a face. This is my next rule. When you make the thumbnail, realize that there's a giant part of the human brain that is designed exclusively to look for a face. And people like to click on a picture of a face.
Now, for people who are not familiar with YouTube, the thumbnail is the picture that you see when you're scanning through YouTube. It might be on somebody's channel, or it might be on the sidebar on the right, but that is a picture that when you upload your video, you get to choose what thumbnail picture is shown.
Yeah, for sure. And it's really important because people shop with their eyes. They don't get to hear it, they get to see it. So the thumbnail has to be really saturated, really bright, really vibrant. More often than not, you want a face in it.
Just gonna clarify that. You're saying make sure the thumbnail has a face.
Yes.
So we have two body parts there. We have a thumb
or an animal
and a face. Oh, an animal.
Yes. But for example, if I wanted to make a video about a guitar,
what about a person crossed with an animal?
Even better.
You would just like hit a massive.
If you could have a cat with a beautiful woman's face and a chocolate bar, and then some dollar signs, and then a little red circle and an arrow pointing to something that isn't there.
You're talking 2 million views.
They want to know what was there.
2 million views, just like that.
That's right. But
the thumbnail motherload.
It just needs to be an engaging image. And it needs to contain within it a condensed version of the title. Rule number 3. The title...
I'm writing this down, by the way, people.
Good. The title, the words, are in search order. And the title of the video is the most searchable component.
You need to explain what you mean by the search order.
Right. So if your video is the best chocolate bar in Minnesota, then if people are searching for that video, the first word they found is the. So if they're searching for chocolate in their area, they probably won't find that video because it will throw up all the other videos that have chocolate as the first word, not the as the first word.
So the small little words, conjunctions, things like that matter.
Every word is a separate unit and it's in order of search.
And none are more important than the others. They literally take it like a string of letters.
So I would change that title, The Best Chocolate in Minnesota, to be Chocolate, Minnesota's Best, or Chocolate, The Best Chocolate in Minnesota.
You would avoid the at the beginning because of how somebody searches is what you're saying.
Because it's a ubiquitous, non-searchable term that has no value in the search of that video.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So the title, in search order, and then you said something else about
So
the
of
title.
those words, I'd say chocolate's the most searchable. I'd say Minnesota's probably the second, and best could arguably second or third. So I would call it chocolate, and then I would say Minnesota's best confectionery or something like that.
You've really thought about this, haven't you?
Oh man, years.
Just out of curiosity, how many videos are on your channel at the moment?
I think it's about 1,200, I think, something like that.
1,200 videos?
I think so. Let's have a look. I actually don't know.
That would surprise me. I would think it would be more.
I'm going to have to take my phone off of airplane mode, Joe. This could be dangerous, but
And then we're going to...
bear with me. Let's see what... Okay, there we go. There's one.
Because I just can't wait to hear rule number 4. How many rules are we going to have, by the way?
Quite a few rules.
Oh, good.
My God, there's a lot of stuff. Right, cancel. Let's get there.
He's looking. I can assist you with my computer too, if you'd like.
I'm literally there. So 646,000 subscribers.
Well, Rob is checking. Let me just say, if you have any questions about these things, or if you have any suggestions for the show, Throw the Boss Out does have a Twitter channel and a Facebook channel. So please hit us up.
2,000 videos.
2,000. You thought it was 1,200, so there's been that much just going on without you really knowing it. Are other people putting content on your channel, Rob?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
2,000 videos.
Title in search order.
Yes.
And then what?
So, okay, let me just, in the middle of these rules, let me just give you an idea for something viewers can do. People who are listening can do.
This is great.
So we're taking a tiny segue.
This is valuable. This is the most valuable podcast we've done.
People pay a lot of money to learn this, so it is definitely valuable. So what I do when I wake up in the morning, before I get my son out of his cot and go downstairs and watch kids' TV and make his porridge, is I lie in bed and I think of video titles. And then I write them down in my drafts and email on my phone. Video titles are the lifeblood of a YouTube channel. If you come up with a really engaging video title, you've won the game. Simple as that.
Interesting.
Yes.
So is that technically rule number 4? Or is that part of rule number 3?
Well, no, this is just an exercise that I would recommend doing.
I really like to have these numbered, though. It's
so, for example, if you had a fishing tackle online company,
like somebody
we might know, then I would look at the classic big titles like top 10 fishing tackle
things,
or the best fishing tackle, or how to never blah blah blah,
right?
Or
these are good titles. You're saying
when you know you've blah blah blah. These are things that people find engaging, but it's really the word order that will win it. Because as soon as someone searches fishing tackle, then you need to have won that game. So you would do things like fishing tackle don'ts.
Interesting.
Because they're like, that immediately is a task. Fishing tackle don'ts, or fishing tackle do's, or fishing tackle hacks. So the don'ts challenges the viewer. They're like, well, am I doing some of those things? Doing some of these things that I shouldn't be doing?
Right.
Fishing tackle do's, can I be verified in the things that I'm doing and feel better about myself? You have to think about the emotional effect of the title on the viewer. Fishing tackle hacks, can I do things better than my peer group?
Shortcuts. Hacks says shortcuts.
It does.
Okay. So we're going to combine those with number 3, the title in search order, and make it an engaging title. And what you said is, if you got a good title,
yes, you've
won the game.
Yes. Thumbnail has to match the title, as in it has to be as good as, because if you get a great title and a completely rubbish thumbnail, you've let yourself down. So it needs to be colorful, vibrant, etc. Anyway, rule 4. You don't need lots of money to make a great YouTube video.
Well, that is, if you look at some of the people that have 13, 14, 15 million subscribers and get hundreds of thousands of views. I saw one of a family who does a video with their child about toys. Some kid looks at toys or whatever. 13 million subscribers.
Oh, yeah.
And they just do, and you can tell when you watch the video, they're either doing it with an iPhone or they're doing it with a very basic camera, and they're using extremely basic video editing, doing nothing special, and yet people are just absolutely engaged with this family.
A smartphone is probably the most powerful tool you could use, because if you're looking at a video that's been shot on a smartphone, it's real. You can imagine being there because you're so familiar with looking at the video. It's shaky, it's alive. You don't want to use tripods and make it static and dead and boring. It needs movement and life. So if you're filming something on an iPhone, it's like found footage. It's like reality stuff. It's real, underground.
People love it.
Through someone else's eyes. So it's engaging immediately through the way it's been filmed. I have filmed a whole release quality music video in Norway using 2 iPhones, one to film with and one for audio playback. And it had hundreds of thousands of views.
Just with the phone?
Yeah, just with an iPhone.
That is awesome. This is good stuff. Is there more rules, Rob?
There are
Chapman?
more. Well, there are more rules, but for someone beginning on YouTube,
just start with these. Get going.
I was going to say something else. Rule number 5 is when you make your YouTube channel, really consider the name. It needs to be short, and it needs to be unique to you. Now, if you have a unique name, that really helps. If you don't have, like, if you're I don't know, John Smith, there are arguably lots of Smiths. So probably you would consider the name of your channel, but give it room to breathe and expand. So if you're fanatical about boats and you want to do, reviews of yachts and trips on your boat and take a look at this new sail and all this kind of stuff, but that's not all there is to you, 5 years down the line, when you've got the best boat yachting YouTube channel there is, you might suddenly want to start making videos about fishing or about lifestyle. So if your channel is called Bob's Boats, then it's a little bit harder.
I see. Don't lock yourself in with your name.
Right. It's harder for the branding to expand and become, lifestyle or other things.
And is it fair to say that if the name of your channel does not say your subject, is there any harm in doing that?
Absolutely not.
No, because you're going to build brands by your titles.
It's you that's the brand.
Yes.
You are the brand.
But attracting people, because that's the next thing that I want to get to, is that once I get a video up there, then how do I get people to watch it? Is that going to be one of these rules? I don't want to interrupt your
It's not a rule, process. But I'll give you the secret, because it's probably the most asked question I ever get. If I've got a video, how do I get people to watch it? That's the wrong way around.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So it doesn't matter how much promotion you put behind a video. If the video is really great, it will just roll down the hill and snowball and grow. If the video is shit, no one's going to watch it or bother or share it. It needs shareability.
Yeah, okay.
So if you've got a really piece of engaging, unique content that's got a great title, a really cool thumbnail, and 5 people watch it, 2 of those people will share it. And then it grows. So the best promotion and marketing for a video is to make the video really great.
So, and that is exactly the trend that's the way that Google is going online for any kind of that we call it search engine optimization, meaning the organic growth of things. We've worked so hard to learn about how to advertise, and Google now is telling us time after time when we ask, how can we do this? How can we make that better? They're saying just make great content, just have great copy, just have great unique pictures,
that's all
just
that
have
counts.
this stuff.
Because, for example, and I'm sure some of the listeners will have experienced this on YouTube themselves, I have gone to a YouTube channel because the thumbnails were just beautiful. There was an Asian woman cooking stuff, and I was like, wow, Chinese cuisine, this looks amazing. The thumbnails were like, you could smell the food through the thumbnail. It was just like beautiful dumplings and char siu and all this. And I was like, wow, I'm watching these videos. Click on one. It was the worst video I've seen in such a long time. Poorly lit, bad. The audio was awful. By the way, viewers forgive poor quality visuals, but they don't forgive poor quality audio.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So audio is more important than video.
Audio is more
almost.
important than video.
Wow.
Yeah. We listen more than we see, which is an unusual thing to consider, but
And
it's
they're
the truth.
certainly connected, are they not? The visual and the audio?
They are, but if you can imagine sitting down to a video with really bad audio, maybe it's really quiet and hissy, you turn over. You wouldn't bother. So, because of course you can close your eyes and have a YouTube video on.
Yes.
Which I do a lot.
And essentially what you have then is a podcast.
Yes.
This is why we do podcasts, Rob.
So in this particular incident, I clicked on the video, having seen a really good thumbnail, was completely unsatisfied and never saw another video on this channel.
Just stopped.
She didn't deliver the goods. If the video had been great, I would have immediately subscribed, pressed the bell, been notified, and always watched the videos.
But I want to make a point.
Yes.
If the thumbnail wouldn't have been great, title wouldn't have been great, you'd have never seen the great video.
Yes.
So I just wrote down shareability, by the way, as number 6. So I don't know if we want to keep going with this numbering thing, but what?
There is one more rule, and
Okay.
then we're done. CTA, call to action. So when you assume you have viewers watching, because if you put a video up, it will be viewed by friends and family. If it's good, they'll share it, and then it grows.
Okay. Call to action.
Yeah. So at the end of the video, you don't ask people to subscribe. People don't like being asked to do something.
Interesting.
You need to employ some neurolinguistic programming. You need to be, but not funny about it, but tell them to subscribe. Tell them to press the notification bell in a nice way. But don't go,
should I say please?
But here's what you shouldn't say.
Please.
Guys, it would mean so much to me if you subscribe. Please, it would be the best thing ever. And I really need subscribers because I'm just desperate to get some, followers. And I really want to make something of YouTube. And I just, really want to do it.
That's bad.
Awful. Never do that. What you should do is, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Subscribe. Click the bell. Get notified. See you later.
Interesting.
It was a call to action. It was a command. But in a pleasant way, in a positive way, in a people-leading way.
Amazing. What else do we want to think about? New YouTube subscribers, we've got the steps. How about some encouragement? You really feel strongly about the fact that anybody can do this, but if everybody can do it, Rob, why doesn't everybody do it? What's the ingredient? We talk about this in the show all the time, is what makes the difference between someone who's thinking about it and who does it. And I say all the time, there's only one difference, and that is that somebody does it.
It's personality types. There are doers and people that don't do. So if somebody is a doer, if you're listening now and you're the kind of person that does things, then if you go and get your phone when you finish this and just shoot a video and put it on YouTube, you're doing it and you'll win. People that stop, fail. Your vibe creates your tribe. So when you put a video on YouTube, if it is a certain vibe, people who like that will attract to it and grow the channel. Your vibe attracts your tribe is a very key thing.
Is that yours?
It's mine, yeah. I
That's you actually, have you coined that? Did you copyright it? Your vibe
creates your
tribe.
Yeah. So if you are a trolling, negative,
that's who you're going to attract.
You're going to have all the trolls, all the negativity. If you are a shining beacon of hope and love and joy and food and stuff,
then you'll have no trolls.
Well, no, you'll still get, when you get your first troll, you've succeeded.
So what's fun, again, most of our audience is probably not that familiar with the entire YouTube landscape. So we talk about things like trolls. They may or may not know what that is. That could be a whole entire
that's another
show.
podcast.
It is absolutely a completely different episode. So we're going to wrap this up. I am Joe Leach with Throw the Boss Out for the Talk North Network. Guys, click subscribe.
And hit the bell to be notified.